Hello my beautiful friend and welcome back to another video. So today we have Resident Evil 9 Requiem news and let's dive in. This is an article by Inside Gaming Network. I have never heard of this site before, so this is our first time together here. Probably, maybe you already know the site. But yeah, an article by Sam Sepiol, as of recording this right now, 2 days ago, approximately. And yeah, an insider has provided players with details about the Resident Evil Requiem story, including the revelation that Grace's mother is the woman monster. Okay, that is not a big surprise. We already kinda guessed it. So yeah, I believe that one. But let's just wait and see if this is all true and if it makes sense. Let's just say it like this. The insider Dusk Golem, okay, Dusk Golem is very known for Resident Evil leaks, has been on a roll lately, constantly providing players with details on everything Resident Evil. Recently, they revealed that Resident Evil Requiem gameplay details, which features Last of Us combat and vehicles. Last of Us had vehicles? Really? Huh. But Last of Us combat, isn't that basically just the third person perspective? I don't know. Now the same insider has provided players with story details for Resident Evil 9. Because I don't know what Last of Us combat is. Isn't Resident Evil 4 Last of Us combat then, basically? I don't know. This feels weird. To me. Not that it is weird, but... Huh. Maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Please tell me what you think about this in the comments. Yeah. Resident Evil Requiem is the last numbered game. I don't have a problem with that. Aesthetic Gamer, also known as Dusk Golem, has posted a series of posts on Twitter regarding Resident Evil Requiem's story. They first stated that Capcom will make Resident Evil Requiem the last numbered game. Resident Evil 9 will not only be a conclusion chapter, but also a new beginning for Resident Evil. Okay, I'm intrigued. Moreover, it will be the end of the timeline and the conclusion of everything to do with Umbrella, Raccoon City, its legacy and long story. I kinda like that. Wait, this move will enable them to implement significant changes to the franchise. Okay, after all these years, I played almost every single Resident Evil game. I love Resident Evil, but it's time to put the zombie down. And I don't mean zombies in general, but Umbrella, Raccoon City. As much as I love this, I played those on the PS1. It's been such a long time. And yes, my heart loves Umbrella and Raccoon City and everything around this. And yeah, I love the story. But it hasn't been the same since... Oh, was it? No, it was already in Resident Evil 4. And I mean, Umbrella was there, but it hasn't been the same since then. Resident Evil 5, of course, was a whole different story. Resident Evil 6, oh, we don't talk about Resident Evil 6 here. And yeah, with 7 and 8, they also kinda didn't really talk about it that much. But yeah, so I have no problem with this one. I do understand if you get upset. I totally do. Because this is huge. This is something that will uproot many long-standing fans. Probably, I think. But for me personally, again, I've been playing Umbrella, Raccoon City and everything since basically day one. I think I had Resident Evil 1 2 or 3 months after the release here in Germany. But yeah, Resident Evil Requiem will also serve as the conclusion to everything that began with Resident Evil 1, 2, and Resident Evil 0, if players choose to include this game. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, yeah, no, it was fun. For me personally, I will include it. The series will now introduce new characters, new types of horror stories, okay, I'm intrigued, without being tied down by the series' history. Yeah, this is what I want. The team has faced several restrictions over the years, including tying all game elements to Umbrella, Raccoon City, and other locations. Exactly. And this has hurt the overall narrative so much. Not only because we had so many cooks over-salting, over-spicing the pot, it was just so weird at one point. And now, this is what I love about the remakes, that they are basically trying to tie everything together. Yeah, there were retcons in between, again, that I did not like. But having the parasites already being mentioned in Resident Evil 3, the Las Plagas, or what I like to call them, El Parasita, I really, really love this. So now we just need a Resident Evil 5 remake, and whatever they are going to do with Resident Evil 6, oh boy. But yeah, again, new stories, new characters, thank you, just make Easter eggs out of them. Because also the series, everything we've got, oh yeah, Leon has to be there, Jill has to be there, or something, and it just hurt everything around it. Don't get me wrong, the first Resident Evil live-action movie, I love that. I really do. But, dude, what the hell? What is happening? Dude! Dude! Okay, I'm back. All the ads. Okay, this is the cue to move on. Here's how it's been conveyed to me, and I've been saying this for 4 or 5 years now, actually. But I was updated on this recent as a couple of months ago. Resident Evil 9, they plan to make the last numbered Resident Evil game. Resident Evil 9 is a conclusion chapter, as well as a new beginning for Resident Evil. Okay, yeah. In the next series of tweets, Dusk Golem revealed what he knows about Resident Evil Requiem's plot. They recognize all the characters from the first trailer, which features the Stalker monster, the hooded figure, and shadowy figures. They are also aware of the game's framing device, the playable characters and their roles in the game's story, but not where their stories lead. The leaker also knows about the upcoming Game Central's virus infection, why they need Grace's blood, and how everything ties to Umbrella. Okay, I'm interested in that. Grace's mother, Alicia, is the giant monster. Not a big surprise. We already guessed that. One significant detail about the Resident Evil Requiem story that Dusk Golem revealed is that the giant monster woman is, in fact, Grace's mother, Alyssa. The leaker stated that many will figure this detail out with the Gamescom reveal and preview embargo. Yes, Dusk Golem adds that this isn't a spoiler, as Grace figures out who the monster is shortly after meeting them the first time. I love this. Grace is an FBI technical analyst and can recognize their own mother. She should, yeah. However, the situation initially makes her reluctant to believe it, but she quickly comes to accept it. Resident Evil 9 Requiem isn't a pure horror game. Yeah, we also kinda figured that one out. When asked about Capcom's recent comments that stated Leon is a bad match for horror, the insider replied, nothing, noting it's a good thing that Resident Evil Requiem isn't a pure horror game. I totally agree. Golem added that the Summer Game Festival reveal, the Gamers Press release, and other details have shown that Resident Evil Requiem will be a mix of horror and high-stakes cinematic action. Okay, let's just wait and see how this will pan out. I'm carefully optimistic here. Regardless, all details mentioned above do not come from an official source, so readers should treat them with caution. Yes. Okay, yeah, that was basically it. Okay. I was really hoping for a little bit more juicy things, and at the same time I didn't, because I don't want to get spoiled with Resident Evil 9, but this was recommended to me, and yeah, I'm of course going to talk about Resident Evil. Again, I love Resident Evil. I'm really, really excited for this game. As of yet, I'm still fairly optimistic. The high cinematic action thingies, okay, this is a little bit that I'm skeptical with, but I can live with that. The last numbered game, I'm totally fine with it. Put the zombie down, double tap it, triple tap it, just end Umbrella and everything all around that. Again, it did hold back the Resident Evil franchise for a long, long time. People working there did not know what to do with the story, and it got worse for that. Resident Evil 7 and obviously 8 did save it, but everything before that. And as much as I love Resident Evil 4, do not get me wrong, I played Resident Evil 4 as I had a zombie eye, basically, because I had something in my eye and it got turned all red and zombie-like. And one of my friends was just like, dude, you're turning into a zombie yourself. Oh, I love that. Oh, those were good times. But yeah, again, I'm still fairly optimistic. Last numbered entry, totally fine with it. New storylines, keep them coming. But I can totally understand when people say they don't like it. I totally understand if you say you don't like it. Again, this will uproot a Manio fan. And yeah, let's just wait and see how this will turn out. I still love that the game dev teams in between, so the Monster Hunter team, the Resident Evil team, the Pragmata team, and so on, because everyone is working with the RE engine, which I like, which I'm all for it. As much as there are problems with it for open world games, they are working on it. And it's better than just having everything on Unreal Engine 5, because it's also not the best, but having a dedicated engine for the studio will make better games in the long term. And I love this, because again, we talked about the strand dynamics that they used in that they are using in Pragmata for Diana's hair, and that they are incorporating this with Grace's hair in Resident Evil Requiem. So that every dev team is talking to each other, sharing experience, sharing knowledge is awesome. This is going to make better games in the future with a better RE engine. And yeah, I'm again excited. But what are your thoughts on all of this? Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say. And while you're here, please remember to do all the things that make the dings. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe. And if you want, you can share this video with your friends. And yeah, I again forgot how to do an outro. Yeah. I'm tired. This is still my first coffee, by the way. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.